Penguins win last night, 6-3. It was Globetrotter night at the rink with Brian Boyle starring as Meadowlark Lemon unexpectedly. Sean Payton has stepped away from the Saints. Headlines powered by Bowser, also brought to you by Dollar Bank. Go to dollar.bank.
Back now to more of the Cook and Joe Show. Ron Cook and Joe Starkey. Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
It's gone off the rails.
Horse, it's gone off the rails before the show even started. The microphone stand just fell apart. I don't have my reads. I just got a call from a teacher. We're having a dispute at school. What the hell is going on here? Get your hands off the microphone. That didn't sound right. Good morning, Shelby.
Good morning.
How are you?
Joe, I only requested while we host together that the show go off the rails a couple of times, and we've already accomplished that. So what more could I ask for in these next couple of days of hosting with you?
I know. What's going on here, Horse? This thing's not working. How am I supposed to get started? The microphone stand is coming out of the socket.
It completely came out.
All right, I think we're ready. Shelby Cassesse sitting across from me. This is exciting for me to be doing this show for the next few days.
Too.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
What should we call the show?
Can't be Cook and Joe anymore. What should it be, Horse?
Ron is too busy.
It's Shelby and the Joes.
Shelby and the Joes?
I like that.
Shelby cooking. Where's Ron?
He's living his best life on vacation.
That's right. He's in Florida.
Do you think we're going to get another Ron vacation photo? That broke the internet.
That did. I think we will if it's shirtless.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's why it broke the internet. It broke the internet. It would have either way. But the fact that Ron actually looks good for his age, which we're guessing what, mid-60s?
I would assume.
Early 60s?
I would guess 45, 50. No, I'm kidding. But he looks like that. He looks that way.
He does. He looks really young. He's in shape. I think people were shocked by that. Ron won't reveal his age. He won't even tell people when his birthday is, which I find rather, disturbing.
So you've never been able to celebrate his birthday. You guys have been hosting together for, 4 years now?
Yeah. No, I think his level of self-loathing won't allow him to celebrate his own birthday. I don't even know Horst, does he even acknowledge his birthday?
I have no idea when it is.
You know what? We have a board here in the newsroom that says everyone's birthday each month, so we'll have to keep an eye out on the board.
I got an update on that.
It's not up there.
No,
it's not up there. He won't. He has not. He has told nobody when his birthday is.
Yeah, he's requested to have that taken off the board.
Oh, my. It's a mystery then.
What sort of psychological torture is revealed there when someone says, I won't even celebrate my own birthday and neither will you?
That's a deeper question than maybe I'm qualified to answer.
Ron is busy keeping baseball players out of the Hall of Fame. That's his yearly mission. We can go anywhere with this, Shelby, and we shall. We have Jay Caulfield, top of the hour, talking Penguins. Lots of interesting stuff to talk about there after the game last night. But we could start with, Sean Payton stepping away. Mm-hmm. We were asking each other this morning, what's the biggest story? Do you think that is the biggest story going around right now?
I'd say that's a big one. I think I can't stop seeing tweets and articles about the Baseball Hall of Fame yesterday and today. The Tom Brady buzz over retirement, that's a pretty big one. I feel all the NFL offseason has barely begun, if at all, and we're already getting pounded with storylines that are going to impact next season.
I know. It's like the NFL just never stops.
No.
They generate headlines 365 days a year. That's why we used to do our NFL segment, Mulsey and I, every day. And it's never like, what are we going to talk about today? No such thing as bad publicity. It's all good. Did you see Antonio Brown with Brian Gumbel? It was Antonio Brown sitting with his agent, whose name I don't know, and Bryant Gumbel, like the most serious interviewer in history, trying to make this into like a legit breaking news, oh my God, listen to these accusations type story. Did you see this?
I saw it, and what was breaking to me apparently is that AB has lots of, quote, mental wealth. So I'm not really sure what mental wealth involves, but he apparently has a lot of it. But it's just the story that keeps on giving in many ways. But I continue to just kind of feel sad for Antonio Brown because he continues to make these choices himself, but he also has so many enablers. His agent, whether he believes it or not, is sitting there right next to him and perpetuating whatever Antonio Brown wants to perpetuate. And he not only, in my opinion, needs to reflect on himself and see what's gone wrong. He is the common denominator in all of his issues. But also look at who's surrounding him. And is it a group of people who are going to enable him or are going to make him a better person? And so far, it's people that enable him.
I agree with that. And I also feel like it's like having somebody in your family who has some sort of issue, and the issue is destructive. So you're torn between, do I have compassion for this person? Can I get them some help? And we can't let this person do this kind of stuff anymore. Like it's torn between anger and compassion almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and oftentimes when you're in that situation, you are on a fine line yourself because you don't necessarily want to rupture your relationship with that person or upset them, but you can see them participating in destructive behavior over and over again. That's just detrimental to themselves. Now, I don't know if Antonio Brown has a type of person like that can say that. Maybe there is, and they have, and he just kind of blows them off.
I think that's the case, yeah.
But, you look at his history, you look at what he's been through as a person. I don't know that he's ever had that support. I mean, he was kicked out of the house and homeless by 16. Has he ever really had the right group of people around him to support him and I guess instill positive behavior and healthy behavior? I don't see that that's the case. And now he's surrounded by people that just want to use him for his talent and use him for his money. And because he's on a destructive path, no one wants to help him.
All true, I think. And he inflicts destructive behavior of his own.
Oh,
like you said,
I mean,
like at some point, I think as an adult, you have to take responsibility for that. And if you believe some of the accusations out there, he's done some pretty heinous things at this point and maybe shouldn't even be in the NFL. And then there's a tragic comic element to it. Well, I mean, look at the video. You saw the video. Mm-hmm. He looked like he was baked in the video. He's got this smile. Yeah. Just this phony smile plastered to his face as they're talking about these incredibly serious issues like mental health. And he basically said, they tried to put me in the, quote, crazy house. Yeah. And
pay him $200,000 to have him sit on the bench and go get mental health.
Yeah. I'm not crazy. Why don't we start there? I think we already did. Why don't we listen to this video? What I hear, Shelby, in this interview is it sounds like people, again, wanted to help Antonio and wanted to give him money to basically sort of go away here. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that him and his agent come off looking great in this interview with Bryant Gumbel. And it appears that Gumbel is after some sort of like major breaking news story. Yes, that will indict the Buccaneers. You know what I mean?
And one of the things that sort of confused me in the interview was the, I guess, if you want to say, accusation that the Bucs gave AB a shot of something before a couple of these games. Now, I don't know what the drug was.
I do.
Okay, what is it?
I once did a story on this. It's called Toradol. Uh-huh. And again, as a grown-up, you have a choice to take Toradol. And when I did this story, most of the players would line up like cattle before the game to get Toradol. It's a slow-acting, masking, anti-inflammatory. So it's gonna work as the game goes along and even after the game, to where you're not feeling pain when you should be. And they all obviously have a choice. These guys make it sound like that, they strapped him down and gave him shots of Toradol.
Right. I would think that even in the NFL, you're in charge of your own medical decisions. And if someone is injecting you with something, you should know full well what it is, and if you don't, you should at least be asking. Or if you're not comfortable with it, then don't take it.
Right. It gets back to the Baseball Hall of Fame. You don't think that these guys at this level, where their body is basically their instrument to make money, don't know everything that's going in their body?
Yeah.
And if they don't, I agree with you, they better and they should. So let's take a listen to this. Right off the top, this is Bryant Gumbel from Real Sports HBO talking to AB and his agent, and they're up on a big screen, and the whole scene is just unbelievable.
Prior to the game on January 2nd, the game against the New York Jets at the Meadowlands, were you given shots of Toradol?
Absolutely. Right before the game, I was given Toradol.
We actually have, Bryant, in the medical records that we've reviewed, evidence that the team regularly injected Antonio with Toradol, so he couldn't feel the damage that he was doing to his ankle.
Hold on a second here. Again,
That makes no
this
sense.
makes it sound like he was being trapped in the corner, tied down, and injected with this drug against his will. These guys line up for that stuff like they're getting Skittles. They want this before the game.
And according to them, only upon reviewing medical records did they find out that he was being injected with this. It either one doesn't make sense to me, or two, I put the onus on him for not fully knowing what he was getting. But,
right, but I think
NFL
he knows.
Yes, an NFL player who has played as much as Antonio Brown, who has dealt with aches and pains as he has, there's no way that this is a new revelation to him and he didn't know what he was being injected with.
Right. Toradol's been around forever. I did this story, it might have been 10 years ago. Ben said, yeah, I get it before the game. Max Starks, remember talking to him? Most of the guys in the NFL, I don't know that that's still true, that they still line up to get it, because there's been some questions about Toradol. Go ahead, Horse.
Until it got to that threshold point where he told his coach, "Coach, I can't play because of my ankle." And the coach's response to that was, "Get the F off the field."
Okay, so the Bucs shot you with Toradol in the week before the Carolina game, correct?
Absolutely.
They shot you again before the Jets game, correct?
Absolutely.
And you played the first half and had 3 catches for 26 yards, correct?
Yes.
And Arians claims that at halftime then you were upset about not getting more balls thrown your way. True or false? Is he lying?
False. It's not worrying about the ball. Tom Brady is my guy. He's the reason I'm on Tampa Bay, so I know I'm going to get the ball.
Antonio, I saw where you seem to resent the feelings of so many former coaches and teammates that you were in need of mental assistance. Does that bother you?
Mental assistance from who?
Professional assistance.
To the extent any of that is coming from a spin that Antonio had a spontaneous mental episode, it's resentful and it's hurtful, and it's a disservice to people who do suffer.
It's resentful?
From mental health challenges. We all have our difficulties, Antonio, myself, everybody.
Yeah, these guys at Tampa Bay Bucks try to make an agreement with me to give me $200,000 to go to the crazy house so these guys could look like they know what they're talking about. These guys are unprofessional.
Wait.
They treated me
They
wrong.
offered you $200,000 for what?
The offer was Antonio would basically sit on the sidelines, go on some list, and commit himself to some form of intensive mental health treatment. And we were specifically told in writing by the general manager twice, don't spin this any other way.
Antonio, do you think you need mental help of any kind?
I have mental wealth, man. I know a lot of people may not understand me.
Mental wealth, he said he has. Did that not sound like an injury settlement to you? Like, you're going to be on the sidelines, you're going to get money, and we want you to get help. That's the way I heard it. I would say good luck if they're bringing a suit against the Bucs. You?
It's hard to even find, it's hard to find any proof that the Bucs did anything wrong. I don't see a whole lot of issue. I mean, and he was welcome to either take that $200,000 or not. He chose not to, and that's how it ended.
It ended rather
abruptly and strangely.
Yes, unceremoniously. And now the question becomes, or one of many with this guy, is he going to play again? And he put a photo of himself in a Ravens uniform on social media. And the day before, Lamar Jackson liked this idea. I know when we talk about this, he doesn't think there's barely any chance that Antonio plays again. And I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't bet against it either. It's the NFL. And if he can help somebody win and somebody wants him, and I don't think players think of him the way that a lot of other people do, I think he could be on another team. You?
Because how many times over these last handful of years have we thought, Antonio Brown's done, there's no way a team's going to take a chance on him.
Right.
And then, sure enough, someone does. And sure enough, that team gets burned at the end, no matter what the reason is, either causing consternation in the offseason or not showing up for practice or leaving practice early or just marching off the field in protest without half your uniform on. It always turns out bad for the team that he goes to. Now, Tampa Bay won a Super Bowl, much in part thanks to him. Maybe at the end of the day, that was worth it to all of them. I don't know. Based on our earlier conversation, I don't want to make it seem like I don't think Antonio Brown is responsible for his own actions. I absolutely think he's responsible for many of his own actions. But I can't help but just have additional concern for him if he doesn't play again, because the money's going to run out. And as that money runs out, the entourage is going to go in the other direction. The workers, the employees, the supporters, they're going to turn the other way. And he's going to be by himself with no money. And I'm really concerned about him as a person, about what that could do for him. It's almost like I want him to find yet another chance. I want him to turn himself around and save himself from what I think could be a really dark turn if he doesn't play again.
You think the agent's getting paid right now? Maybe on a
He's sure looking like it, or at least looks like he
delayed
hopes it'll
payments?
happen.
I don't know. Yeah, he sure looks like he. I mean, I think you're right about the people that want to use Antonio Brown, and everybody wants to get their hands in the pile. I think both are true, and I think when he first got that money is when things took a turn. You listen to Ryan Clark, and that's exactly what he says. As soon as Antonio got the money, one of the first incidents was berating an iconic figure in Dick LeBeau during a practice, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. One thing I don't buy, Shelby, and you're listening to Shelby Cassesse, joining me today with Ron on vacation, is that the perfect hit did this to Antonio Brown. I don't buy it. Do you?
I don't either. No, not at all. There were patterns of behavior before that, maybe not to the extent it's grown to, but I don't buy that one bad hit like that sends you in this direction that he's gone in. It's over a long pattern of being hurt by other people, making his own bad decisions. I mean, you can't put the onus on one bad hit.
Coming up, we are going to talk to Chelsea Messenger, our betting insider, and we have a ton of topics on the table today. We have the Baseball Hall of Fame, which is a subject that absolutely drives me up the wall. We're going to talk about that, how David Ortiz, who was the subject, at the very least, the subject of legitimate suspicion with PEDs, like it was revealed he tested positive. And since then, it seems to me anyway, because Ortiz is a nice guy compared to Bonds or Clemens, that those test results and accusations all were kind of swept under the rug. And, well, maybe they weren't, reliable tests. And now all of a sudden that guy gets in, but the other two are left out. Shelby and I will talk about that. But first, we are going to talk to Chelsea Messenger about the games this weekend. If you have any action on those, you'll want to listen.